Hello, I am Linda Means, and I want to tell you about a very exciting event that is coming to your town soon. You might think you have to drive into Boston to see the Pops, but you do not. The Dover Pops will be performed at the Dover Church on Friday evening, April 8th. Cocktails served at 6:30. The concert will begin at 7:30, and I promise you it is going to be a great evening that you will never forget. We have classical music, country music, uh, torch songs, and jazz piano. You can't ask for more than that. It's really going to be fun. This event is sponsored by the Greg Rice Foundation, and all money earned that evening will be used for research for Parkinson's. We're looking for a cure for Parkinson's, and since 2004, Greg himself has raised over $100,000 for that cause. This concert will be one more effort to reach our goal of eventually curing Parkinson's, which would be a wonderful thing. I have Greg with me today, and we'll be talking to him. I also have Linda Fail, who I'm sure everybody knows because she's with the Center Streeters, Dover's favorite band, and they will be there. So it's going to be a great evening. Um, let's see. Yes, I told you about the cocktails and so forth. Tickets are $30 a piece, and we will be giving you the information on how to get them. The Greg Rice Foundation is a charitable, tax-exempt 501c3 organization dedicated to raising awareness about Parkinson and getting research dollars to find a cure. It contributes money to medical and research institutions dedicated to finding a cure. It raises awareness and money to cure the disease, primarily through the arts, because Greg himself composes some beautiful music, which you will be hearing some of. It sponsors fundraising events, which the Dover Pops concert will be, with performers and artists, and it emphasizes the power of people to overcome their physical and mental challenges, as Greg himself has done through his composing of music and through his efforts to raise this money for the research for Parkinson's. And for more information, you can visit the GregRiceFoundation.org online. Now I'd like to introduce you to Greg, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's in what year, Greg?
1993.
1993, at age 46?
46, some thereabouts.
Yeah, which is very early onset, isn't it?
Early onset, yes. Well, I began composing music, classical to start with, in 1993. And what was unusual is that it took 10 more years with Parkinson's before I ever composed my first piece. And I wrote a symphony, which was played by the Boston Symphony Orchestra and the Wellesley Symphony Orchestra, and in 2004 and 2007.
Since Greg was diagnosed at age 46, that he has composed how many CDs now?
Well, I have about 100 compositions.
100 compositions
3 CDs.
And $100,000 raised for research.
Yeah.
Pretty astounding for a man with a debilitating disease.
Well, the 100 pieces of music includes 3 CDs. One CD is called Calendar of Dances, and it's 12 dances performed by symphony orchestras. And each dance is supposed to be representative of that month. For example, December is December Waltz. January is Sleigh Ride. August is Family Time. So each piece of music is supposed to represent and sound like what you think about that particular month. The second major work I accomplished was American Sketchbook. And American Sketchbook is it's like a Lewis and Clark expedition, and you listen to it and you think of something that Ken Burns might have done or used in in some of his historical documentaries. It starts with Native Americans on the East Coast. It moves in the Europeans to the East Coast, travels Allegheny area, goes up the Mississippi River, goes to the plains of America, down to the Southwest, finally to the redwood forest in the West Coast. So it's a Lewis and Clark type of expedition or exploration of for country. And the last CD I sell is entitled Tranquility. It's the kind of music you'd like to listen to if you're a late spring day lying in your hammock on a Sunday afternoon. And this music will put you to sleep if you let it. People have commented that it's very soothing music. And when I say it'll put you to sleep, I don't mean to say it's boring, but it touches your more tranquil nerves. That's why it's called Tranquility. So Linda, those are three of the things major works that I've finished. I've written a lot of other pieces. I was commissioned to write some Christmas music for the Wellesley Symphony Orchestra, and I did that. December Waltz was that, and January Sleigh Ride was that. I was also commissioned to write an Irish tune that was played two years ago called Irish Stew, and it sounds pretty Irish to me. I'm not Irish, but it sounds pretty Irish to me. And the last piece I've written for the Wellesley Symphony Orchestra is Sleigh Ride.
This music is available will be available at the concert for purchase, and all proceeds will benefit the foundation. And you can also go online and buy it at the Greg Rice Foundation website. So go ahead, Greg. I didn't mean to.
I might comment on how Parkinson's affected me personally. My symptoms have progressed somewhat rapidly in the last couple of years. You can tell that I have trouble speaking and maintaining volume. And speech is one of the things you don't want to give up, but I try hard to enunciate and speak loudly enough.
Greg participates in a singing group called the Tremble Clefs, which is all for Parkinson's sufferers, and it helps with the maintenance and projection of the voice. Am I right about that?
Yes, the three things that I have to work on are projection, to be loud enough, enunciation, not to mumble.
And he also participates in a dance group, which helps him keep his body active and moving properly, because these are all problems for people with Parkinson's disease. I have to admire the huge efforts Greg has made through the years to keep being a productive person, which he's done so admirably.
Well, yes, thank you very much, Linda. As I said, the disease has progressed. I'm in a wheelchair much of the time. My speech is not as good as it should be, and also my memory is not as good as it used to be. I remember things like that happened in 1959. I can tell you the whole Washington Senator baseball lineup from 1959, but I couldn't tell you who played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Well, I know that it was Tom Brady and the Patriots, and I complained that I can't remember why I walked into a room or why I can't find my keys, and those are normal things that people who don't have Parkinson's can't remember sometimes, but they're more exaggerated in my case. So as symptoms progressed, I try to stay active. I'm in a singing group called the Tremble Clefs, which has performed a number of pieces with orchestras. Last year, I wrote a piece for the anniversary of the Boston Marathon tragedy, and it's been performed with the Tremble Clefs and the Boston Symphony Orchestra. It's also, I've done a piece about the tragedy with some of the same music, but it's more of a soloist piece. So the Boston Marathon tragedy had a major impact on me, as it did everyone else, and I was able to tribute the heroes of that disaster in this music.
Well, maybe we can talk to Linda for a bit about the Center Streeters. What have you guys got up your sleeves for this event?
First of all, let me say that I am so honored to be asked by Greg to do this, and our band was extremely willing to do this for such a great cause, inspired by an inspirational man, Greg. And we are so looking forward to this, a night of just wonderful music. Need I say anything about our band? Everyone in Dover knows pretty much about us. We've been together now almost 42 years of band playing with tight harmonies, with wonderful instruments, and great people singing them, full of harmonies, and it's really upbeat music. I remember one lady said, "Linda, I go to the hospital to see my father, and it's a sad thing, but your music keeps me smiling." And I think that's what we do. And as I say, we are a renowned band, not only in Dover, but I'd say New England, really.
I would say so. I would agree with
We
that.
have played many, many places. Gasparilla Inn, the Jupiter Island, Nantucket, the Vineyard. So we have had lots and lots of adventures. In fact, I have 13 scrapbooks full of all the places we've been and the wonderful feedback we get from people who have so enjoyed all of our music. So our music is eclectic. I think it appeals to everyone of all ages. It's bluegrass. We can do bluegrass. We could do country. We do a little bit of folk and traditional and gospel music. And we also do a cappella. So who could ask for anything more?
I knew you were going to burst into song at some point in this interview. Well, I happen to know that all of the other musicians who are going to be appearing are just as good as the Center Streeters. Stacia Kraft is a renowned soloist. She does religious music and all kinds of other things. She's going to be doing some very romantic torch songs for this event. Once again, the Dover Pops, Friday, April 8th, 6:30 p.m., the Dover Church. The string quartet from the Wellesley Symphony Orchestra will please all of you classical music lovers who are out there. Joe Reed is a renowned jazz pianist. That will be very wonderful. And I don't think I've left anybody out, have I, Greg?
No, you haven't. But the you use the word eclectic. What do you use? Eclectic. I'd add that Linda talked about the Center Streeters being an eclectic band or played a variety of songs. Just to add to that, it's just truly eclectic because on April 8th, because we have people who specialize in classical music, people who specialize in jazz, people who specialize in country and folk, and so there'll be all kinds. It's something to please everybody.
Exactly.
And I think you'll find a wide potpourri of music we're playing. It's not just the genre, but it's also what you do within that genre. And it's very positive music, and it's something you'll love to hear.
Okay. Well, thank you both for being here with us today, and I thank all of you for tuning in, and I hope I will see every single one of you at the Dover Pops concert, April 8th, a Friday evening. Come and join us for cocktails at 6:30 in Craft Hall. Then we will move over to the sanctuary to hear this fabulous concert. And as Linda just pointed out, something I, even though I've gone there for years, hadn't thought about it, the acoustics there are really wonderful. There's no such thing as a bad seat. There is something to please everyone, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you very much for tuning in.
like a bunch of roses, and her eyes were like the starlight sky. Her hair was dark and it was curly, and I love her till the day I die. Will the roses bloom where she lies sleeping? Will the flowers shed their petals there? Will the dew drops fall upon the roses where my darling sleeps beneath the sand? I'll miss my darling as she's sleeping beneath a beautiful sky. I'll miss her more now, seeing she has left me, and I know we've said our last goodbye. Will the roses bloom where she lies sleeping? Will the flowers shed their petals there? Will the drops fall upon the roses where my darling sleeps beneath the sand? Will the roses bloom where she lies sleeping? Will the flowers shed their petals there? Will the dewdrops fall upon the roses where my darling sleeps beneath the sand? All right. Thank you very much.
Sit on that. Save the space.
Nice job. All right, let's do like Mountain Girls. All right. Need to shut it out here.
Because we're advertised as a bluegrass band, here comes a bluegrass song. It's called Mountain Girl.
From the mountains of Dover.
Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can
Riding the night on a high cold wind, trail of the old lonesome pine. Thinking of you, feeling so blue, wondering why I left you behind.
get down, boys, go back home, back to the girls you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can look.
Get down, boys, go back home, back to the girls you love.
Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can look.
Remember the night when we strolled down the lane, our hearts were getting happy then. You whispered to me as I held you close, wish this night would never end.
Get down, boys, go back home, back to the girls you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can look.
G ending.